Hello everyone, welcome to the fall semester and welcome to SCI 150. So this is Earth and Space Science. My name is Dan Casper. I will be your instructor this semester. I just wanted to provide this introductory video to go over some of the key content to help you get started on the right foot. Also, I want you to see that yes, I'm a real human being here. I'm actually at the Stanton campus. You're welcome to come during my student hours, or of course we can meet on Zoom if you have any questions. But I wanted you just to sort of see, put a face to the name and all the emails and announcements that I'm going to post. So I posted an announcement to help you get started with a little bit of an introduction and a little bit of an overview. I do want to point out that you do need to buy this book. It is in the bookstore. If you can find it elsewhere, just make sure it's the 15th edition. It's no problem at all. There's a digital version also that I think you can rent at the bookstore. So however you get the the content, you'll need it actually this first week. Most of the content is from the book, so make sure you get that right away so you're not sort of chasing the train throughout the semester. And then to get started, I assume most of you have used D2L before, but this is D2L or Brightspace, which is where all the course content, at least all the assignments are, and sort of all the schedule, basically everything but the book is here. So this is the home page. A couple things to point out. Number one, there is a list of due dates here for all the assignments. You can actually click on them and it'll take you to the assignment. Okay, so you can do that. There's multiple ways to get to the assignments, as you'll see. Just a little pro tip here: if you're on the course at any point and you want to get back to the home page, you just click the title up there at the top. Okay, so how do we get started? We're going to go to the Content tab, which is where basically you spend all your time in the class. Now, there is more than one unit here in the course, but they'll sort of launch those as the semester progresses. But you want to go through this getting started, this Unit 0. And just go through everything from top to bottom, pretty straightforward. I'm not going to go over all of it, but there's a little course introduction here, a little introduction about me, and this is really important, this instructor information page. This gives you my contact information, including you can book an appointment with me during my student hours and sometimes outside of my student hours. By clicking on this link. And you can do Zoom or in person, and you can indicate that. And then here are my student hours, so I'll be at the Stanton campus in my office at B221 unless otherwise noted. And then sort of communication expectations, and then a little introduction, which I do suggest that you read because I do provide some insight into some of the stuff we're going to be going over this semester and some of the cool things about earth science. Full disclosure, I love earth science. This is one of my favorite things. This is actually what kind of got me through college, believe it or not. I was floundering around, changed my major like 6 or 7 times at Penn State, where I did my undergrad, and then I found earth science, and it just sort of clicked, and I really loved it, and that's what I ended up. I have a degree in earth science from Penn State, so I get really excited about this stuff. So anyway, I'm going to go over some key things here in the Unit 0. This is a discussion board. If you have a question outside of class, we don't have class because this is fully asynchronous, right? So we don't have class time. But if you have a question, it's about the content, or like you're a little bit confused about something, I please suggest that you post it to here, because the nice thing about this is everybody else in the class can see it. And it's that old adage that if you have a question, it's almost certain that somebody else has the same question. That is absolutely true, especially with a class this size. So I do ask that you post there. If you don't feel comfortable, that's fine. Just shoot me an email. But you can also answer each other's questions. And the other sort of corollary of that is if you have a question that you're thinking about contacting me about or posting here, just make sure you go to this discussion board first, because there's a chance that somebody had already asked that question and it got answered. Okay, so that'll just save everyone time, because I can't monitor this discussion board every minute of every day. So if there's an answer there, it's easier to get it. This is optional, but it's a coffee shop discussion board. This is just anything related to the class that you want to post, and maybe you find an interesting article or video, or I don't know, web page, website, whatever. Feel free to post it there, and then this is just a very informal way to kind of go through the content or related content. Schedules here, this is really important, so we do stick to this. I'm not going to go over this. Evaluation measures, this just tells you how you're going to, the grading, the weights. Pretty straightforward there. This is a really, really important document, so make sure you go through it from top to bottom. This course expectations document here. This tells you basically everything about the course. The materials, attendance policy, which obviously there is none since it's asynchronous, grading, just to give you a sense of the different kinds of assignments and so forth. So I'm not going to go over all of this, but it's really, really important. So make sure you go through it. And then there's actually an orientation quiz that's due on Friday that will require you to kind of go through and pick out some of the key aspects of it. Okay, this is a really important page because you have the opportunity. It's not necessarily required to scan and submit assignments. So we have some labs that you can print out and then write in by hand and then submit, and homeworks for that matter. If you do that, it's fine. Just be really careful that you take when you submit it. There's kind of two key things. Number one, it has to be a PDF and it has to be a single document. Okay, so if there's 3 pages to the lab and you submit 3 separate pages, that's not good, because you actually will lose a percentage off, 20% off of your grade if you do that. The reason I do that is because it's completely unmanageable with 25 students, and if they all submit 5 different documents and I have to click, and click, it doesn't work. So make sure you submit a single PDF. That's number one. Number two, make sure it is legible, right? So make sure the lighting is good. Make sure that it's not cut off. Make sure that it's not sideways, right? So when you're taking this photo, you need to, first of all, you should use Cam Scanner, which I highly recommend. You can use this other one too. I've used Cam Scanner for years. It's great. Free app for iOS and Android. And it's really easy to make PDFs and share them. So I suggest that. So when you do it, just make sure you have good lighting and you're holding the phone, like if it's horizontal, if the paper's horizontal on the table, make sure the phone is horizontal over the page, not like sort of like at an angle. Make sure it's horizontal, right? And then make sure the whole thing is captured. It's sort of this smart app, and you can it automatically will identify things that are not your piece of paper, right? So if there's something sitting there and you actually capture something outside of it, it usually will draw this little dotted area that'll snip basically just your page. So anyway, you'll see it's really user friendly and pretty easy. If you have questions, just shoot me an email or post it to the discussion board. All right, so super important. The 2 things, remember, has to be a single PDF. And number 2, it has to be legible. If it's not legible, you lose points as well. Just get in that habit, okay? So when you, and just real quick, after you scan it, you can take a look and see if anything got cut off or it's legible or whatever. So just double check before you submit, all right? This tells you how to sign up for notifications. This is really important, so make sure you do this. When I post an announcement, it's official course communication, so you need to see it, right? And it's a little bit easier than like constantly checking the announcements. Just sign up for notifications, really easy. You just click your name, go to notifications, your name up here at the top, go to notifications, and then just enable it. And so you can tell it to shoot you a text, you can tell it to shoot you an email or whatever whenever I post an announcement. So make sure you do that so you don't miss anything. And then it also tells you how to subscribe to the discussion boards, which at least subscribe to this have a question discussion board so you can see if anybody has a question. Okay, here's the course syllabus. You can go over that. And then this is a really great site. There's a bunch of resources that are freely available to you, Microsoft Office, and some of these other things. I actually just learned this. You can get an Amazon Prime discount. So sure, just check it out. And if you need to buy any computers or peripherals, then you can look here. I would shop around, of course, but there is a little discount for students. These are potentially really helpful, so don't ignore these. The bookstore, I'm sure you've been there before. The virtual support center is great. You can drop in at any time, and you just log onto your computer, your phone, whatever. You go here, and you can basically, if you have a question about anything at the college, this is not really relevant to the class itself, but anything outside of this class, advisement, financial aid, what's the balance on your bill, do you owe anything on your bill, what's your, there's some support. So there's a lot on there, and you just log in, someone says, hey, how can I help you, and then they send you to the right place. Really great, really great service for students. If you're a veteran, military veteran, there's some resources there. You're probably familiar with a lot of them, but this is a nice quick way to get there. Mental health resources, look, it's a crazy world out there. We're all busy. There is a lot going on, and if you need to talk to someone, or you think you need to talk to someone, or you have any kind of potential mental health, and this doesn't mean like a mental health disorder. This is just like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know how to deal with this all. You can go here, and there's no shame in it. A lot of people utilize these types of resources, and again, this is freely available to Delaware Tech students, and they'll help you. We have an on-site counselor, and there's some other resources as well. The laptop lending may or may not, sometimes they run out of these pretty quickly, so if you don't have a laptop, you might be able to borrow one there. If you have any need, emergency financial need, even things like I'm working and I'm going to school and I still can't afford my rent this month, or you had something happen to you and it's sort of made it hard for you to buy food that month, there's some emergency financial assistance. So again, there's no shame in this. Like, we all go through hard times. So if you think you really need it, you can go here. And then we do have a food pantry on every campus. It's literally a box, and you just go in and you grab, and there's no questions. You don't have to talk to anyone. Very discreet. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. But there's information about it on this website. And there's some other. This is a great website. There's all these different I guess if you need assistance for any of the technologies at Delaware Tech, logging into your account, using D2L properly, other things like that, you can go here, all free to Delaware Tech students. All right. And that's it for the lesson 0. So there is a quiz here that is due on Friday, and it's all based on this lesson 0 content. And the goal here is just, it's not meant to be hard or trip you up or anything like that. But I know there's a lot of content here, and you're not going to memorize it all. If you do, kudos to you, but there's a lot there. So the orientation quiz is designed just to make sure that you see the really key stuff. And I will post announcements or do other things that sort of nudge you with reminders of anything that's really important. But that is part of your quiz grade. You get unlimited attempts. It's not meant to be tricky or anything. You can keep taking it until you're happy with your grade, and only your highest grade counts. Okay, so that's due on Friday. And then you just dive into the content here. Okay, so we're starting with astronomy, and just go through from top to bottom, pretty straightforward. Yeah, basically there's one chapter per week is how this course is designed. So this unit 1, there's 3 chapters you go through. That's 3 weeks. And at the end of each week, all the quizzes and homeworks and labs are due on Fridays. And then at the end of the unit, then you have your unit exam. Okay. So that's hopefully a helpful orientation to the course. If you have any questions at any time, please know that even though this is an asynchronous course, I'm available. We can meet via Zoom. I'll respond to the discussion board. I respond to emails. I actually look forward to it because I like interacting with students. So I absolutely would be happy to meet with you and discuss the content again. I love the content, so any chance I get, I'll take. All right, so I look forward to working with all of you this semester and kind of going through this interesting journey with you all. And if you hope your semester gets off to a great start and you have a great week. And if you need anything, just let me know. All right, have a good day.